Okay, so let's talk about creating keys and certificates in Microsoft SQL. And we need these in order to do encryption. And there's several different ways we can do encryption inside of our database. And we're going to look at them, look at a couple of them anyway in a couple of subsequent videos. But before we can enable encryption, we need to start setting up some infrastructure for it. So SQL uses a hierarchy of encryption. And at the top of that hierarchy, or depending on how you want to visualize it at the base of it, what everything else is dependent on is this master encryption key. So that's what we're doing here. Now, I've already created these scripts, so you don't have to watch me type them out. It'll be a little faster, but we're going to walk through them. So we need to create an encryption key, then we need to create a certificate, then we can use it for transparent data encryption, which is one of the things we're going to do. So here's how we're going to do this. Let's walk through this. Start off by saying use master, because the master encryption key is going to go in the master database. Go tells SQL do this before you do anything else. So our next line is going to be to create a master key. So this is our master key for encryption, and we're doing it by password, and then I just set a generic password here. I'm telling it to go because I need this in place before I can do this. So I create a master key encryption, and then I create a new certificate called transparent cert, and then I have it, I define it, give it a subject, with subject, certificate for TDE, and that just reminds me that's what I'm using this for, is transparent data encryption. That's why I went to all of this effort and created this. So these two things are going to allow me to do transparent data encryption, but I have to build them before I can do anything else. So I'm going to execute my query. And if all goes well, it'll say command completed successfully, and I now have a master key, and I have a certificate. By the way, this is not directly related, but if you need to undo one of these, you can use drop. So use master drop certificate transparent cert. Use master drop master key. And that'll get rid of them if you ever need to do that. Don't want to do that while you have things currently encrypted, so that's probably not a good idea. But if you create one and then think, oh shoot, I typoed that password, then you can drop it and go back and recreate it. That's really the only place where you would probably use those on a regular basis. All right, now I have my key and my certificate, and these are stored inside my master database, which is amazing, except that if my master database goes down, if I have a problem, if those get corrupted, I can't encrypt anything that's based on decrypt, there we go, decrypt anything that's based on those. So I want to create a backup of those, and that's what this next script is about. Now, this next script, we're going to start by backing up the master key to file, and then I'm giving it a location, C:\encryption \AW master key, and then that file is going to be encrypted by a password. Again, the generic one. Go to execute that now. And then we're going to back up the certificate. This transparent cert is the certificate name that I created here. So we're backing up that cert to a file, C:\encryption, the cert. And then I also want to put a private key file with it. So with private key, and then I'm putting that in the file, C:\encryption, transparent key or transparent cert key. By the way, if you have both of these as the same file name, it creates a problem. And then we're going to encrypt that by password. Notice here I put in parentheses my file and encrypt by password for the private key. Now, if this works correctly, I should be able to hit execute. And oh, that's not going to work because I forgot to create a folder for it. So I'm going to come out here to my C drive and I'm going to create a new folder called encryption. That should work better. Let's execute. There we go. Commands completed successfully. So now I have backed these files up. So I come back out here to my encryption folder, and there they are, my master key, my transparent cert, and my transparent cert key. Now, I do not want to leave these on the same drive. If my server goes down, now I have a problem, right? So I want to take those, and I want to put them somewhere safe and sound, out of the way, treat it like the One Ring, keep it secret, keep it safe. You may, by the way, want to try to restore those just to make sure everything worked fine, especially now before you've done anything else. And just make sure that you have valid backups. It's the same as any kind of backup routine, right? You need to verify your backups occasionally. So now I have my keys backed up. Now at this point, I can start building some encryption. And we're going to start with the transparent data encryption, but we're going to tackle that in our next video.